All right, peace, peace. I'll leave back in the building for another YouTube live event. Go ahead and press 9 in the chat box if you can hear me. Press 9 in the chat box if you can hear me. After I get confirmation, I'll go in. Lay down how I do this thing is I lay down the information first, announcements, and after that, I'll take any questions that pertains to the topic. Today, we're talking about, are we in the last days? Are we in the last days? So a little bit different than my normal broadcast. As you may know, I mostly deal with spiritual mastery, spiritual development, spiritual growth, enlightenment, all that good stuff. But, I had to come off my horse and talk about what's going on this planet. Okay. Thank you, Kareem. Peace to the brother Kareem Rand. Okay, so I'm assuming everyone can hear me, so I don't need any more nines in the building. So if you don't know me, my name is Ali. My website is salymyers.com, spelled just like my name. The birth of this discussion today came about. I had a consult with one of my students this morning or whatever. Shout out to her. And I mentioned to her that we were in the last days. And this is something I talk about often, but to be honest, never made a video about it, never written an article about it. As far as I know, I've never made Mind Right radio broadcast or anything. And are unable to hear me, go ahead and press 9s if you can still hear me, if I'm good. Hey, what's up, Vita? Veda Nirvana. 9 if you can hear me. Apologize for people watching a playback. I want to make sure I'm coming across good. As many of y'all know, when I drop my Jay-Z prediction on 444, they clip my joint. Archives on YouTube, you'll hear me speaking, or you'll see me speaking. I'm going in. Then all of a sudden, all you hear is see my mouth moving. You hear nothing or whatever. Only time that's ever happened. Okay, yeah, everybody said they can hear me. So if you can't, I don't know what to tell you. You may have to watch the broadcast, but you're not going to be able to hear that, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so this came about, like I said, I was speaking to one of my students, whatever, this morning during a consult. And I mentioned to her that we were in the last days. And she was like, what do you mean by that? And I was like, you know what? That's why I'm going in on YouTube broadcast today. I plan on doing a live one anyway to it. Yeah, people still saying they can't hear anything. I don't know. I don't know. But I do know I'm about to go in. So like I said, I lay out the information. Then I have a few announcements. And after that, if you have any questions that pertains to the subject matter, as far as end time events, revelation, apocalypse, doomsday, whatever name you want to put on it, anything pertaining to that, I'd be more than happy to answer. Obviously, I'm not going to repeat myself. This is being recorded. So if you need to go back and watch it, that's what you're going to have to do. So the way this thing is going to work is I'm going to lay out some information. The information is actually based on prophecies from ancient cultures, the cultures that we look up to. The next part of the information is going to deal with what's going on the planet now. Then I like to sum it up with what I believe is going to take place in the very near future. When I get to that part, to be honest, it's my opinion. And it's one of those things that we really don't know what's going on until after it happens. Case in point, 2012, they were talking about the world's coming to an end. There was a lot of different prophecies. I'm not saying that's the only one, but one of the major prophecies that people were spewing out, especially spiritual people and conscious people, was the world was coming to an end. Obviously, it's 2017. 2012 and passed. You know what I mean? I had my last daughter in 2012. You feel me? So a year of the dragon. So obviously, we're 2017. We passed that. So that was one of those cases where people were misreading the information. Because the ancients never said that the world was going to end December 21st, 2012. Misnomer. Do your raw search. Big part of why I want to lay out some of the cultures is because you can look it up. You don't have to believe me. Use your own discernment. Look at the data, look at the information, see what's going on now, and come up with your own opinion. I mean, what's up, Rob Cole, Pickett? Peace to the gods, Danielle. First one I want to lay out is, and I got my notes so I don't mess up anything. And I found an article before 2012 that spoke about all the different cultures and their prophecies relating to that particular date. And it laid out like Aztec, Mayans. It went through all the major civilizations. I couldn't find the article. They probably took it down after 2012 because it was dropping jewels. But I was able to find some information, so I want to lay it out. Like I said, I want to give you some things that you can research as well. What's up, Cosmic Mob? The first one is Inca. Inca is a very popular civilization. Most people are familiar with the Incas. You're talking about in the Americas. Honestly, all the civilization I'm speaking of, they were in the Americas. But they said that new humanity will rise from chaos. New humanity will rise from chaos, and this will begin what they call the millennium of gold. The millennium of gold. Some of the signs that you can look for to let you know that we're heading to what they call the millennium of gold is some of the signs are drying up of the mountain lagoons. Drying up of the mountain lagoons. And once again, you can look this up for yourself. I'm not making it up. About the near extinction of the condor. The condor is a bird. If you Google right now, the condor in extinction, you'll notice that the condor is becoming extinct or whatever. Even like right now, especially in California, they're breeding and making new condors. But the problem they're running into is based on the way we build cities now with power lines, they make brand new condors or breed brand new condors. Then the condors are offing themselves by running into power lines and running into things that are man-made. So they're becoming extinct. And that's one of the things that the Incan said was when the condors become extinct, you know that we're heading to the millennium of gold. And the last one that they said was a sign that we're heading to this millennium of gold is there will be a greater solar heat, be warmer. You've heard for many years about global warming. Not going to get into the conspiracy saying if it's the government, if it's extraterrestrials, if it's people, whatever. We know that things are heating up. And the Incas laid this out a long time ago. They said that there will be more solar energy on this planet. There will be solar heat will rise or whatever. Also, let's go to the next one. I don't want to spend all day with this because we can spend hours talking about this stuff. Next civilization were the Mayans. They're very popular, but they said the end of the world is when there are no more trees. Trees. Look at the rainforest. Look at Africa. Look at certain places in America. The trees are being chopped down. Now, we know this is man-made. I mean, you can even say that some of the wildfires are man-made, depending on how you look at it. But the point of the matter is that the trees are less than they used to be. That's one of the signs that the Mayans said. They also said that everything will find its end. Everything on our planet will find its end. Now, before you get spooked, they also gave some information beyond that. So after everything ends, they said that the souls of the ancient, souls of the deceased will inhabit the earth. So after the world ends, they said that the souls of the ancients, the souls of the deceased will inhabit the earth. That's very, very, very big, very big. So let's move on. Next one, the Aztecs. The Aztecs had what's called the Eagle Bow calendar. The Eagle Bow calendar was a very accurate calendar that was used, I want to say, for about 2,000 years. And they said in this Aztec Eagle Bow's calendar that in the fifth age, will realize its spiritual destiny. Age, humanity will realize its spiritual destiny. In the sixth age, we will realize God within ourselves. Within ourselves. And in the seventh age, we'll be so spiritual that we'll be telepathic. Age, they're saying that we'll realize our spiritual destiny. The sixth age is where we'll realize God within ourselves. And the seventh age is we'll be so spiritual, we'll be speaking through telepathy. And if you don't know, we're currently in what they call the fourth age or the fourth world. And lastly, the Hopi prophecy. Now you're talking about the Native Americans. They said when the blue star kachina makes its appearance in the heavens, the fifth world will emerge. And this is another culture that talked about a fifth world. And I went through the Incan, Mayan, Aztec, and the Hopi. But if you go to some spots in Europe, some spots in Africa, they also reference what they call the fifth world. So this is very, very big. So we can conclusively say, based on the ancients, that we have gone through 4 worlds or whatever. We're in a 4th world right now. Even in biblical, they talk about humanity erasing itself, God finding things not fit, getting rid of it, then a whole nother civilization coming about. I don't know the exact scripture, but it's in the Bible somewhere. And let me say this about the Bible, because there's going to be a couple of things I talk about and make reference to the Bible. It seems like as spiritual people, as conscious people, quote unquote conscious people, we dismiss the Bible. Then we get to a certain level of enlightenment with a third eye. I think most people that are watching me right now, most people that's going to watch in the archives, you are probably from the same cloth where you read the Bible from a metaphysical standpoint. So we don't take that book as literal, but we know there's some symbolic jewels in there. So that's my only disclaimer about the Bible. You can take it for what it's worth. So like I said, we ran through some major cultures that talked about in-world events. Now let's look at what's going on now. Let's look at what's going on now. And I'm going to state some things. I'm telling you now, it may not be popular. You may disagree with it. You may think I'm off my boat or whatever, but I'm just evaluating things for how they are. Not putting my feelings, not putting my opinion to it. Just looking at things for what they are. You know, to state my age, I'm 40, 47, year of the dragon, that latter part of the dragon year. So I've been on this planet 40 years. So I've observed things. I've seen the telephone come and go. I've seen pagers, cell phones. I would remember before social media. I remember before microwaves. You know what I mean? If you are older, over 40, over 30, then you've lived on this planet long enough to see where things are going. You feel me? But if you're less than 20, you may not have a point of reference, your own personal experience to know what I'm talking about. So first thing I want to talk about what's going on the planet right now. Gender is way different. What do I mean? Gender is way different, man. You got females nowadays that look like men. You have men nowadays that look like females. And also during this time that I've been born, we have a third gender, which they call transgender, or people born women but turn themselves to men, or people born a man turning themselves into women. So not even talking about, you know, transgender, but just looking at it from a man and woman. Women nowadays, they take on a role as a man. Men nowadays have taken on a role as a woman. Now, I'm not saying this is across the board and everyone's like this. What I'm saying is there's a rise of this more. You know, nowadays you can see a man that looks heterosexual, got mustache, beard, play football, lift weights, and do all that stuff, ain't never been with a chick ever in his life. All he like are guys. Once again, I'm not judging. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm indifferent to it. I'm just stating the facts. There are a lot more men that look like women, a lot more women that look like men, and the roles have switched. Where a woman nowadays will tell you, I don't need a man. They're making their own money, raising their own children, fixing a car, fixing a house, doing all kinds of stuff that were considered masculine back in the day. Nowadays, you have men who don't go to work, who may take care of the children, who may cook and clean more than their wife. So the roles have switched. Now we can get into why. We can talk about sexism. We could talk about women's right. We could talk about liberation. We could talk about so many different things. But the end result, I think, is pretty conclusive. Gender is different on this planet. Also with that, and it goes into the same thing, race is different on the planet. Now, if you're pro-black, if you're pro-white, if you're very, I'm for my people or something like this may not feel good to you. Once again, I'm just a messenger. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm just stating the facts, okay? Race is different on this planet. Once again, I'm 40. When I went to school, I went to school. Let me shout out my school. First off, I'm from Middletown, Ohio, 513. They call it Money Town where I live. I grew up in a neighborhood, 14th in Baltimore. I went to an all-black school up to 6th grade. School I went to in elementary was Taft Elementary. Then I went to McKinley Elementary. From kindergarten to 5th grade, hey, I had a handful of European people in my class. Handful. In my neighborhood, all black. Okay, I'm saying that because nowadays, fast forward, once again, I'm 40. Fast forward now, my children, my two youngest children go to the same school that I went to in elementary school. But when you go there now, it doesn't look the same way as when I went there. Now you see Mexican. Now you see a lot of European. Now you see another race on this planet, and that's biracial. A lot more biracial people on this planet. Also in the neighborhood I grew up in, south side of Middletown. Nowadays, there were streets where you wouldn't, once again, I'm not saying this is right or wrong. Please, this is not my judgment. I'm just stating the facts. Where I grew up at, Middletown, Ohio, there were certain places, if you didn't look like me, you couldn't drive down the street. Let me drop some street names. Minnesota Avenue. There were cases of European people driving down that street and getting dealt with. Once again, not saying right or wrong, just stating the facts. They weren't welcome there. Same with the suburbs. When you went to certain suburbs, you never seen a black face. As someone who lived in a suburb that was a very upscale suburb, I'm telling you right now, I wasn't the only black person in that. You know, there's a lot more black people living in the suburbs now, a lot more white people living in the ghettos now, where before they weren't. And my point of this is race is different on this planet. And if you don't think so, you have black people that are full melanated, but they look mixed. You have white people that are looking a little bit darker. You have mixed people that look totally black or totally white. Me personally, my 3 children are by a biracial woman, Sansaray. She's half black, half white. At her, I really didn't know any biracial people. She's 38. There wasn't too many biracial people growing up or whatever. So by me knowing Sansaray, who is mixed, what you call mixed, mulatto, or whatever you want to call it, but biracial or whatever. She has a sister. Her sister, who has a different father, but he's still melanated, and her mom is European. Her sister looks very European, where you wouldn't be able to tell that she was mixed if you really didn't know. You know? But race is different on this planet. I'm telling you right now, you go to certain spots, you're not going to be able to identify these races. Back when I was growing up, there was one box: black, white, Pacific, Asian, or whatever. Now there's another box called mixed with 2 or more races. That's new. That's new. Now fast forward, project your consciousness to the future. What do you think this planet is going to look like? It's getting a lot of dark, you know? Once again, I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but this planet is getting darker. You can very easily see that or whatever. Also, sexuality, with the gender, the sexuality is different on this planet. You have bisexuals, you have trisexuals, you have people that are abstinent. You have so many different sexual practices. You have people doing tantra, you have sex magic, you have a lot of different vehicles for sex. You got porn addiction, you got sex toys, you got hookers, prostitutes, you got so many things related to sex on this planet, because sex is different nowadays than it used to be. Back in the day, there was one thing: missionary style, making babies. You feel me? Missionary style, making babies. Now you got doggy, you know what I mean? You got all kinds. I don't want to get too graphic, but you know what it is. You got so many different things on this planet dealing with sexuality. It is different than it used to be. Now, when you talk about all these things, I talked about gender, I talked about race, and I talked about sexuality. Once again, not my opinion. For anyone with a sense of consciousness, you can basically see the same thing I'm talking about. But what this is all doing is creating more chaos, yo. Because there's no order. If you're a man and looks like this, you don't have to do this. If you're a woman and look like this, you don't have to do this. It's chaos. You don't know what you're getting. Just like right now, I walk out the crib, I go in the neighborhood, people will just say, that's a regular nigga. You know what I mean? That's a regular black male. Until I start to speak, open my mouth, share light, that people know that, hey, he's on some other stuff or whatever. You know, many people that are watching this are what I call freestyle spiritualists, where you don't have a dashiki, where you don't belong to a mosque or organization. You just do your spiritual thing you know, dolo or whatever, or with a group. But my point is that you don't follow no set tradition. So when you go out, people can't be like, oh, that's a Hebrew brother. They ain't gonna be like, oh, that's an Islamic brother. Your garb, your lingo, your what you do does not denote that you're one single religion or whatever. You know, it's chaotic now. You can't make out what's what. You can't make out who's a Republican, who's a Democrat. I ain't even getting into politics, but I'm telling you, you go across the board on anything mainstream, it's mixed up now. It's chaotic. It is no order. That's because we're in the last days. I just told you all the prophecies from the ancients. Now I'm sharing with you, based on my observations, what's going on right now. It's chaos, yo. Chaos is going on right now. You can't see that. There's nothing I can do to convince you. But we know out of chaos what comes next. Order. Out of chaos comes order. So now we're going through the shaking it up. After that, it's going to be order or whatever. I can assure you that. So a couple other things dealing with the end times is like the book of Revelations. And I'm just going to give you a point of reference so you can research on your own. Point of reference is Edgar Cayce, C-A-Y-C-E, and put in Revelations. Edgar Cayce, Book of Revelations. Get his interpretation. The reason I love bringing Edgar Cayce in, first of all, peace and blessing be upon him. He was a brilliant soul. But the reason I always bring Edgar Cayce up, as far as like things that may be kind of too esoteric, too metaphysical, where you may not have enough clues or enough facts to determine what's going on. The reason I love Edgar Cayce is because he's considered the sleeping giant or the sleeping prophet. And what he did was remarkable, was he did so many readings and he documented it. During his heyday, this man was reading for presidents, reading for athletes, reading for celebrities, and it was all documented. Based on his documentation, people were able to go back and verify some of the predictions he made as far as the world and is with people. And he's on record as being one of the most accurate psychics in the world or whatever. So that's why I love using Edgar Cayce. His source mainly was a deity by the name of, I want to say, Ra. I might be wrong, but it's a Kemetic deity that he gave all homage to, saying that that was the being or the energy that gave him all his information. So all you talking about that I'm Oshun, I'm Tahuti or whatever, you got all this melanin, you talking about a European who was talking about talking to the gods or whatever and documented it. So that hopefully help you step your game up or whatever. But that's the reason I love Edgar Cayce, and peace and blessing be upon him. But his interpretation of the book of Revelations, in the book of Revelations, if you do not know, is a biblical book in the Bible. It's the last book. And a lot of Christians, I ain't gonna lie, are spooked by that joint. When you talk Revelations to most Christians, they get real spooked, yo. But what Edgar Cayce said was that the book of Revelations represented the 7 chakras. And it represented our ascension, enlightenment, or beastly nature. So when you look at the book of Revelations, they make many references to the number 7. 7 churches, 7 lamps, 7 this, 7 that, or whatever. According to Edgar Cayce, because we know that the Bible is very symbol rich, that the book of Revelations was a story about the 7 chakras. So if you want more information about that, I highly suggest that you look up one of his books, Edgar Cayce and the book of Revelations. Talk about is the antichrist. And I'm about to put a different spin on it that I've never heard anyone put this spin on it or whatever. The antichrist is another prediction that they said would happen when we're in the last days. Some people stated that Obama was the antichrist. Some people say Trump was the antichrist or whatever. Some people said that the antichrist isn't a particular human being, but more of an archetype, so to speak. And I'm gonna give you a different way of looking at the antichrist. We know that Christ is not a person. Sorry to burst your bubble. I'm from the school of thought that Jesus never existed. He's not a real person. It's more of an allegory. And to do you one better, most people say that Jesus represents Christ's consciousness. So when you hear Jesus, all you have to do is replace that with Christ consciousness. All have Christ consciousness. Remember, in that book, in the Bible, Jesus said, all these works I do, ye shall do greater works. He basically said, you're better than me. You feel me? So if he's the ultimate Messiah, ultimate Savior, why is he saying that everyone reading the book is better than him? Because he's a character trying to tell you a story. But I digress. So we know that Jesus represents the Christ consciousness. So Antichrist would represent Antichrist consciousness. You feel me? So Antichrist consciousness. So when you look at it, let's look at it from the chakras. Chakras is a very good model to look at a lot of things dealing with our reality. Look at the crown chakra as your Christ self. This is your God self. This is your Christ-like light. That's the reason why in all the depictions of Jesus, you've seen him with a halo. All the depictions of the ancients in the past that were considered religious, you always seen them with a halo or whatever. That's light emitting from their crown chakra, forming in halo or whatever. It's right above the crown or whatever. So the Christ conscious represents your crown. Okay. So Antichrist would represent what? Your root chakra. Antichrist, from my definition, from here on until I'm told something different spiritually, I just got this today spiritually, for real, on the Antichrist. Antichrist is your root chakra because it's the opposite of your crown chakra. Okay? So look at the root chakra, and the root chakra has switched now. First, let me rewind. If you don't know what the root chakra is, root chakra deals with your ability to be safe. And it's your security. It's the part that makes your body feel secure on being on earth or whatever. So this is like your house, car, food, stuff like that. That would be like root chakra. It keeps you grounded or whatever. Nowadays, what can't people live without? What can't people live without nowadays? Somebody type that in the chat box. What can't people live without nowadays? Starts with a T. Sorry if you're not watching this live. I want to test the folks listening. What can't people live without nowadays? Starts with a T. And I'm saying that's part of the root chakra nowadays. What can't people live without? And it starts with a T. Money starts with an M, bro. Technology. There you go. What up, Kale? Technology. Technology is the new root chakra, yo. I can recall, I want to say less than 10 years ago in my city, that the power went out. The power went out and everybody was literally had no power. That means no technology, no power, no nothing or whatever. And what people did, they went crazy, yo. They went crazy. Even us, like we got a hotel room and stuff like that. I was like, man, I'm good. I ain't about to deal with this either. But my point is, if you don't have your cell phone, like leave right now without your cell phone, how are you going to feel? Go right now to the crib and turn on the internet, but it don't come on. Or turn the internet on and Google don't pop up. Yeah, put your TV on and imagine that your TV doesn't work. Imagine if your lights don't work. You feel me? My point is, we rely on technology like it's a necessity nowadays. If you meet someone with a cell phone, you don't be like, what? What? You ain't got a cell phone, bruh? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody got a cell phone. Everybody got an internet. Everybody got a Gmail. What if it didn't exist? You see? We relied on it to the point where people can't live their life if they don't have technology. People can't live their life if they're not checking their Facebook updates and stuff like that. That's the times we're in or whatever. So I would say the Antichrist for real, is technology. And technology is beautiful because it has given us a way of connecting via social media. It has given us a way to connect. Like right now, I'm using technology. But if we were to be honest, I believe we're more disconnected than connected. What do I mean? You got people with 2,000 Facebook friends, 1,000 Twitter followers, but yet they're lonely. If you got 2,000 friends and 1,000 followers, that's 3,000 heads in your camp. Why are you lonely? And what people say is, Yeah, the internet's cool. Yes, Facebook's cool. Yes, social media is cool, but I really rather be around people. You see, it's been replaced. Back in the day, you used to send a birthday card to people or call them up, say, wish them a happy birthday. Now you'll get a text. Now they might tag you on Facebook. Once again, I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm just making an observation. And when this happens, what you notice are people are so disconnected. Go out to dinner nowadays. You see couples, a man and a woman, they might be married, might be a first date. He's on his phone, she's on her phone, or whatever. There's no real eye-to-eye connection nowadays, you know? So I say technology is the antichrist or whatever. Let me go a little bit deeper. Put your God goggles on. Put your God goggles on. Back in the day, to get the news, you needed a telegram. Then it went to newspaper. So any current event got put on the newspaper. Then it went to radio. Then it went to television. Nowadays, if you want to get the news, where do you go get news from, yo? Where you get news from? Your news feed. Your news feed. On Facebook, they're feeding you news. You don't hear about the hurricane from Channel 7. You hear about the hurricane from Facebook. You feel me? I didn't even know a hurricane was going on. So I went to Facebook and made a post. And for the record, I don't read Facebook. I don't read Facebook, Instagram, none of that crap or whatever, because I know what it's doing, you know, and I've been holding back for so long because I don't want to come across like I'm a hater. I'm just stating facts, yo. If you are connected, then this doesn't apply to you. But if you feel disconnected, out of touch, but you got 2,000 friends and 1,000 followers, then what's the deal? If you're getting all your information from Facebook, and when you go on there, you get off mad, then what's that doing to you? Like, it ain't the beast, quote unquote, that you should be worried about. It's your own people. It's always been like that on this planet. Let me get into a little conspiracy. Malcolm X, peace and blessing be upon him. Who killed him? His own people. Martin Luther King, peace and blessing be upon him. Who killed him? His own people. You feel me? I'm not saying that others didn't have a part to play in it, but I'm saying that the people that killed these people were his own people. You feel me? That's the way it works on this planet. Muhammad Ali, peace and blessing be upon him. When he was going through his drama, who turned his back on him? His own people, the Nation of Islam. That's who turned it back on him. Yes, the government did. Yes, the government told him he had to go to service, but he shouldn't trust them anyway. You should be able to trust your own people. You feel me? I don't know if y'all get what I'm talking about. So you're getting your news from Facebook. Facebook color is blue. Hell, I say that's the blue kachina for real, for real. Since Facebook come about, I've seen more people confused with what they want to do. You see a lot more cognitive dissonance nowadays. People saying they want to do one thing, but they're doing something else or whatever. It's played out. You can see it through people's timelines or whatever. So, and that's not the only guilty party per se, but I can honestly say that's the front runner. That's the front runner. I'm going to do a separate video where I break down the symbolism on Facebook. It's a reason why it's F. It's a reason why it's blue. It's a reason why it's called newsfeed. It's a reason why you have an avatar. There's a reason why you have a page. It's a reason why you post things. There's a reason why it's called newsfeed. I think I already said that. There's a reason why that you like stuff. You feel me? You like stuff. Now you love stuff and ha-ha stuff or whatever. There's a reason why this is happening. Like, but y'all ain't ready for that. Y'all ain't ready for that. So the Antichrist, in my opinion, is the root chakra. Nowadays goes beyond just money, your house, your material stuff. It deals with technology because many people cannot live without it. If you are feeling this broadcast so far, make sure to thumbs up. See all the comments. To be honest, like y'all going in hard body. I'm about to take questions, but wait a second before I ask for you to post your questions. Thumbs up the video if you are feeling the information, and share it with your social media network if you would, or whatever. Quick announcements. I'm just gonna run through this real quick too. I promise y'all. Haven't mentioned this on YouTube, but Soul Glow Spiritual Retreat number 3 is up. If you're interested in joining people that are come across the world, we have people 2 years in a row come as far as from Canada. Shout out to Flora. She came as far as Canada to the mountains of Tennessee. This is something I've done for 2 years straight. Next April will be the 3rd year. If you're looking for people that are spiritual but still laid back, you will never find a group of individuals like the ones we rock with. Lecture, we have workshops, we have rituals every day, free food, we have games, we have fellowship, and we're in the mountains of Tennessee, yo. Going to my YouTube channel, we even had a bear that showed up at the last retreat or whatever. So if you're looking for something like that, I need to start promoting it more because it's set up for a payment plan. SILEmyers.com. Secure your room. You get your own room, private bathroom. It's ill. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. The Soul Glow retreat is ill. You see them in a chat box. Can't wait. Soul Glow is legendary. Shout out to Chris. But definitely jump on. I'm about to start promoting it a lot more. So, you know, I don't know what's going down. You know what I mean? May not have opportunity at that point. But last year we rented the biggest cabin. I wanted to get 2 cabins this year. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm not, as long as I don't lose money for real, I'm really not concerned about all that. But if you want to be down with us, you want to holler at the God in the flesh, see me in rare form. Not rare form. I'm basically the same way I am online, offline. But just to be around my energy and be around other parts of the family, you'll need to come through. SILEmyers.com. Click on classes and events. You'll find out the information there. Second announcement is I got a new course. It's 5 weeks. It's the spiritual business course. And I'm telling you right now, I only need a few people. And I'm only taking as many as 9. I walk you hand to hand, walk you through setting up your business, setting up your website, literally showing you how to set up a website on WordPress, not just sending you information, literally showing you. Also marketing, getting your products and services together, putting yourself out there, getting clients, getting fans, getting customers, all that good stuff, all the things I've done at this point to get to be a quote unquote authority in spiritual development. That's what I'm teaching during that course. The price ticket may be a little high compared to some of my other offerings, but to be honest, I should charge about 5 stacks for it. It's that good. So if you're interested in having someone walk you hand to hand, you're interested in starting your business, you want to do it legally, you want to put yourself out there, SILEmyers.com, click on classes and events, and I assure you, it's the best offer as far as spiritual business I have. The last announcement, and pushing hard body, is the Spiritual Master Accelerator program. I cannot speak enough about this program at the current price point, what it's doing. Not only do you get modules, for people that need self-paced courses, a module is just another word for course. I have a 14 lesson module. We got 8 lesson module, 9 lesson module. I'm continuously pumping modules onto the system. I can tell you right now, one of the modules are worth way more than a monthly investment. But not only do you get the modules, you get 3 live webcasts where I come on screen. We have an accelerator webcast where I teach you a specific strategy for mastery. That becomes our monthly target. We have a webcast that's a members choice webcast that's actually is tomorrow. We do a group meditation, or we do practice readings, or we discuss a topic or open discussion. Depends on what the fam chooses. Right now, they're going to have a group meditation or practice readings so far is what it looks like. So I give the accelerators the announcement for that. And the third webcast we have every month is a mastermind Q&A. That's where you can come, personal, general, whatever's going on. You can get my guidance. We also have other members because I'm not the only quote unquote master in the building. I can assure you that we got some masters in that group. So I'm not the only one that can help you. So anything you're going like that you have going on, many people complain, I don't have anybody. We're in the accelerator. Like, it's set up for you. You know, I'm not going to lay down all the features because I don't want to sell you on it. All I tell you is go to spiritualaccelerator.com, read all the information, watch the 20-minute walkthrough, then base your decision after that. Best thing you can do for your spiritual practice. I can assure you that. Yeah, that's it for the announcement. So any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer that for you right now. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Maurice. What up, Pickett? Definitely the same brother, online, offline. Hey, I heard a bar. I had a bar from a hip hop cat. He said, man, he was like, introduce yourself offline with your online screen name or something like that. Because nowadays people offline telling you their Facebook handle. Like, man, what's your name? What's your mama call you? Yo, Grace Manor slick, Dale. I'm loving the modules. It allows me to go at my own pace and really absorb the information. Thank you, Renee. How you doing? I like the courses that encourage people to interact with each other. Yup, me too. I'm getting a lot of info on astrology to understand myself. Can you tell me anything about cusp-born signs? I'm Sag Cap. Usually people that's born on the cusp would take traits from the two signs. But to give you another one, people that are born in the later degrees of a sign will also take on the next sign as well. So the way you can read that is you can read it from a Sag Cap standpoint. You can look at it as straight Sag or straight Cap, or you can look at what I call Jyotish or Vedic astrology. Not I call it, that's what it's called, Vedic astrology, which is Jyotish, Jyotish, or Vedic astrology. That will more than likely put your planets at a different placement. Your houses will probably change as well. Me personally, for astrology, I love Jyotish over anything dealing with Western. I have the tendency to go away from Western. If it's Western this, I usually go to the ancient or whatever. Vedic astrology is way more ancient than Western astrology. Love the accelerator program, and for real, I'm not even in it all the way, and I benefit from it greatly. Thank you, Danielle. That's, I mean, once again, they'll tell you, like, I'm not big on selling stuff, yo. I'm big on just putting it out there and then letting other people tell you what's going on. Same thing with the moon sign. You can read it as the one sign or the other sign, but anything on the cusp, you can actually read it from both signs. Conscious Soul, looking forward to being in the mountains with the fam. I don't think you signed up. You better sign up then. Like I said, at least make the deposit so you can secure your room. You can either get the room for yourself, which includes a queen bed, and that's another thing too. You get one room that you can have up to 3 people in that room. If you don't have the budget for that, or if you want to get something less, then you can get a bunk bed. You know, we had a bunk bed room. We had one bunk bed room last year, and we have 4 people in there. So that's something you can do as well. The modules are the bomb. Thank you, Kareem. What's the ideal career path for a Taurus? Hey, what's up, Sylvia? Marcus, what's up? Is there such a thing as bad Joss paper or fate? I would say the best Joss paper has the Jade Emperor on it. Rule of thumb dealing with Joss paper. If it has the Jade Emperor on it, it's more than likely it's official. If it came from L9shop.com, it's definitely official. You know what I'm saying? AEL, the number 9shop.com. That's where our ancestor money is. Okay, so what is there, what's the ideal career path for a Taurus? Ideal career path for a Taurus. I'm not getting too many end time events. So I'm just going to entertain these questions or whatever. Ideal career path for a Taurus, I wouldn't go by that. If I were doing a consult with you, and once again, I do consultations as well, one-on-one sessions, SLEMyers.com, click on one-on-one, and you can find my information out there. But if I were to do a consult on you and you ask for a career, first of all, I'm looking at you spiritually, first and foremost. But I would more so look at the 10th house, what they call the midhaven. It's the highest point of your chart. So it's where you're going to shine the most. I don't want to get too deep into that, even though we could spend all day talking about 10th house and stuff like that. But look at the 10th house and also look at your 2nd house. The 2nd house is your accrued money. To make your money through work. Between the 2nd and the 10th house, you can also look at your rising sign. If you are adept at astrology, you can look at those 3 signs and pretty much determine their best career path or whatever. Yo, peace, Yancey. How much is the deposit this year? I'm not. You have to go to the site, Maurice. I put it up a while ago. I think it's like 99. I don't know. Just go to the site and look. I recently took an ancestry DNA test and results took me off guard. What do you think about the accuracy of these tests? I'm 87% African, 1% Native American, 2% Middle Eastern, 1% South Asian, 9% European. I never thought about it, but to be honest, for one thing, I wouldn't have no interest whatsoever of getting my ancestry unless it has something to do with blood transfusion or I need it for health reasons or something. Or I was adopted and I really didn't know my ancestors, like my bloodline or something like that. But as far as accuracy, I can't determine how accurate they are. I'm sure there's some sort of hidden motive or agenda with that. I'm sure they're compiling some sort of database with people who are submitting their information. Same thing with like a sperm bank, blood bank, and all this stuff. What they do is they gather this stuff, and you have to understand that your government is very good on databases. Google government and databases, and you'll be shocked. Now, I haven't done this for years, but when I came across the information, I was staggered about all the statistics that the government feel like they need to have. So I'm sure there's a hidden agenda. I know you didn't ask me that. As far as accuracy, I would say they're pretty accurate. You know what I mean? They can do carbon dating and stuff like that. I would say it's pretty accurate. At the end of the day, though, like I said, I personally don't think it matters as much. The highest thing that you can know is your soul name and the deities that created your soul. I would really sign up for that over a DNA test. That's my opinion. Do you have to follow your north node? You ain't gotta follow nothing. Like if you're not familiar with me, I'm the cat that says, "Do as thy will." Live Hard Body by Aleister Crowley. Don't agree with everything he does or did or whatever, but I wholeheartedly believe in you do as thy will. I personally believe that we're all gods or higher beings or higher intelligence. I believe that you don't need to ask man's permission for anything. I believe that you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Obviously, there's repercussions for your actions. There's karma in play, but at the end of the day, you can do whatever. For the North Node, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But is North Node pretty much going to suggest what your soul came here to do? More than likely it will if you know how to read astrology. To a lot of things I have learned from you, Brother Panic, shout out to Panic, and various others, along with trial and error using my energy. You are the real deal. Oh, good, thanks. I wasn't saying that to gas myself up. I thought it was a question. Appreciate that. Most def. All right. I think, hold on. All right. I think I'm an order from you now. Okay. What motivates me? What motivates me is making sure I came down here to do what I came down here to do. That's really my only motivation factor. As far as physical, my children are a heavy motivating factor for me. But my main motivation is making sure I don't want to have any regrets. I study too much in near-death experiences. I know too much about the occult and too much about metaphysics. I know too much about the higher worlds. I know too much about spirituality. All that to say, I know I don't want to have any regrets. I don't want to come down here and be like, damn, I wasted a lifetime. I don't want to come down here and waste my opportunities. We live in a grand time right now. 2017 internet, like you ain't got to work. You can work from home. Like we live in a great time, yo. We got so many things that we can take advantage of. Yes, there's a lot of ugliness. There's a lot of nastiness. There's a lot of things that may not be quote unquote good on this planet, but there's also a lot of good things on this planet. So what motivates me is making sure that I came down here to do what I came here to do. That's why all the accolades and all the other stuff that comes with it, really, it doesn't move me. I'm not money motivated. I'm not people motivated. I'm not pat on the back. None of that stuff motivates me, yo. I don't care about Facebook friends. I don't care about likes. I don't care about none of that stuff. What motivates me is I know I came down here with a purpose. I know I came down here with a mission, and I just want to fulfill that. Can ancestor money break spells? I wouldn't say it can break all spells, but what it can break is the poverty spell for sure. Most people have what I call generational poverty, meaning that your parents were broke, your grandparents were broke, their great grandparents were broke, and it trickles down. And what ancestor money can do is break the spell of poverty. So that I can conclusively, without a shadow of a doubt, say. But can it break every spell? I wouldn't go that far. Not for how much ancestor money is. You want to, it ain't gonna break everything in the you know what I mean? They ain't gonna do all that. Somebody said the DNA tests are fraud, so that's their opinion. How long do you think the chaos will last before the order kicks in? Great question. 2012, I believe, was the gateway for that. And I believe that as we progress into the upcoming years, I believe we're going to get closer. But to say a determining date, many people say 2020 might be the day. Like, I'm not sure. What I do personally believe, it will happen in my lifetime, or at least my children's lifetime. I believe that we will go to the fourth and fifth dimension in my lifetime or in my children's lifetime. I echo the sentiments of the great Dr. Delbert Blair. Peace and blessings be upon him. Peace and blessings be upon him. I personally echo what Dr. Blair said. He said our planet is going from kindergarten to grad school, from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. He stated it all the time. I personally believe the same thing. You can tell that we're shifting because everything is quickening. You can eat your food quicker. You get information quicker. You can talk to people quicker. And if you look at how vibration works, in order to learn how the universe works, you want to study vibration. I think it was, who stated that? I think the dude that built the Coral Castle in Florida stated, if you want to learn how the universe works, look in the terms of vibration or energy or something like that. Him and Tesla, I believe, said that. And when you look at vibration, you know things disappear or things ascend once this speeds up vibration. The way Dr. Blair, peace and blessings be upon him, the way he described it was, in order to transcend and sit in place, is you stand still and you vibrate as high as possible, and you can go to another dimension that way. But my point is, everything is speeding up, and that's a symbolic representation of our planet speeding up. Just like right now, it's September, yo. It just felt like we were bringing in the new year like a couple months ago. It's almost like Halloween and Thanksgiving, Christmas, you know what I'm saying? Like, all this stuff is coming about. Also, notice how they start promoting Halloween like damn near like in September and August nowadays. Thanksgiving is pretty much promoted in September, October. I mean, everything is speeding up. Everything is quickening. Children are having sex quicker, or cursing quicker, drinking quicker. It just seems like everything is happening quicker. People are becoming enlightened quicker as well. You know, I don't want to just harp on the bad stuff. People are making money quicker. Like, our planet is quickening. Quickens, that will be your determining factor, letting you know when we're going to the next age. When things get a lot more quicker, it gets quick to the point where it just disappears. That's what we're going into. Once again, I can drag this on for hours, just give you diehard facts and data after data that's all pointing to we're coming to a new age, y'all. The world is ending as we know it. What about the new planet? Not familiar with the new planet. What's the price for your consultations? $99 for 30 minutes and $198 for an hour. I see you, Ali. Thank you. The 10th house is what again? The 10th house is considered your mid-haven. And the second house is your earned income, earned money that you made from working or investing or something like that. 8th house deals with inheritance money, but the second house deals with earned money. When you take 8 minus 2, that's 6. It's opposite. Second house is opposite of 8th house. Y'all ain't about to get me on here teaching astrology. Even though most cats don't even know I know astrology like that. I could really teach an introductory class, but I'm damn sure not no master astrologer. Do not claim to be. Master numerologist, though, for sure. I'm brand new to your group. I've been so enlightened. Thank you. I don't know what group you're referring to, but it's all gravy. I go with how you feel. You're amazing. I love it. Thank you for the compliment. Thanks for the compliment, y'all. Are you vegan? No, but I was vegan for 7 months, 6 to 7 months of my life. And I'm one of those people that know for sure that diet plays a part in your spirituality. Anybody that says otherwise, they've never been vegan, vegetarian, they never fasted, They never not going without eating meat, sugar. They never done anything with their diet. I've done everything that I spoke about. I've done. I just came off a 7-day juice or a 6.5-day juice fast a week and a half ago, where I didn't eat any food half days. Like I said, I was vegan for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I'm on sort of a fast or whatever. My point is, if you don't think diet plays with your spirituality, you're sadly mistaken. Anybody that tells you otherwise, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm on record. Anybody tells you diet doesn't affect your spirituality, they're lying to you. Now, is it the end all be all? Hell no. Eating fruits and vegetables will not get you to enlightenment, but it will help you get to enlightenment. You know what I'm talking about. There's a reason why they put fluoride in water. There's a reason why there's chemicals, hormones, and so much injections in meats. There's a reason why there's artificial flavors. There's a reason why there's preservatives. There's a counter to the food, because food is your medicine. Hippocrates told you that. Let food be thy medicine. When doctors become a doctor, they have to take the Hippocratic Oath. Hippocratic Oath was based on who they consider the father of medicine, which is Hippocrates, if I'm not mistaken. And he stated that food is thy medicine. You can heal through food. Someone put in the accelerator, shout out to her. She said that she knows somebody who just got rid of cancer. The doctor confirmed they no longer have cancer because they changed their diet. Can you believe that? They changed their diet, no radiation, no chemotherapy, no pills. They changed their diet and took herbs or something. Like they did something else, but it was mostly through the diet. They no longer have cancer. Like food is your medicine, yo. Type 2 diabetes, go on a juice fast. Consume green juices for about a week. You won't need insulin anymore. That's why I'm not worried. Personally, I'm not worried about most diseases, because you can get rid of them. You know what I mean? You know anything about shamanism and herbs and stuff like herpes, all this stuff people scared of, like you can get rid of all that stuff. Anything that you weren't born with, more than likely you can get rid of, and mostly through diet. Thing happens after death. Your dreams are the best thing to look at. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up, because what I see the fourth and fifth dimension, especially the fifth dimension being, is like living in a dream, or being lucid in a dream is a better way of putting it. If you ever been lucid in a dream, and dream lucidity means that you wake up and you're in a dream. So you go to sleep, you're dreaming, then you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm dreaming or whatever. I personally believe that's what the fourth and fifth dimension is going to be like. So if you want to see what death is like, dream state. That's the reason why it's easier to access the ancestors during the dream state, because you're like meeting them halfway. Sleep, what they say, sleep is the cousin of death. You feel me? I'll do you one better. Sleep is the brother to death. It's the sister to death. They're closely related or whatever. I once heard Father Dr. Gibson say that if you can't recall your dreams, then more than likely you'll die and get put into reincarnation or whatever, because you won't have any conscious control on where you're going in the afterworld. So I say death is similar to the dream state or whatever. I'm sure you've been. What's the best way to choose it? What's the best way to choose crystals to wear or pendants? I would say go with whatever your spirit says, whatever crystals you're guided to. Or if you want a model, I would look at the chakras. So if you're dealing with, say you're dealing with, you need love, then look at the heart chakra. So you get crystals that are either green or pink. If you're wanting to express yourself better, then look at the throat chakra, which color is blue, and get crystals that are blue. If you need sexual energy, look at the sacral chakra, which is orange. So you get crystals that are orange. That's the way I like to teach people how to choose crystals and work with crystals. But if you don't want to do that, just pick whatever crystals that you think are cute or that has the properties that you're looking for. Yeah, I think we'll see it in our lifetime. Definitely rest in peace, Dr. Blair. Yeah, time is way quicker, yo. Yo, timelines are being erased. Somebody use a key word lets me know that they know a little something. Most people that deal with end time events, deal with higher intelligence. We use the word timelines. On our planet, we have multiple timelines going on at once. A timeline from a 3D sense looks very chronological. This is 2017, next year is 2018, next year is 2019. That's one timeline. Then you got a timeline, like I described earlier, about how news was received on this planet, from telegram to telephone to radio to TV to Facebook. That's a timeline. Then you have your own personal timeline where you might have got married, when you had children, when you bought your first house or whatever. So we have several timelines going on, you know, all the time or whatever. Timelines are being erased, and they're a lot different nowadays. Yeah, it's quickening for sure. It's in the are 3 months behind this time. Actually feel like it's been they already have crazy. Yeah, man, it's crazy, yo. I remember when Christmas stuff didn't come out back when I was celebrating Christmas. It didn't come out till like December. Now they got Christmas stuff out like you at Walmart or something. They got Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas all like, you know what I'm saying? Like in Centerville, Ohio, there's a Christmas store or whatever, like a Christmas store, Christmas shop open 24 or open throughout the year or whatever. It's crazy. Oh man, I'm glad you asked me that. I forgot to even mention what I recommend for people. Okay, now y'all going hard body now. All right, what's the best way to prepare for change? This is what it is. And I said it earlier, when someone asked me what motivates me, you just want to come down here and do what you came here to do. And I'm gonna put it like this. Say the world's not going to end. Say this dumb operation, I can't wait for the world to end. I'm on record saying that too. This thing needs to end. Have you seen this place? Have you seen humans? Okay. We rape, we kill, we murder, we lie, we cheat. Most humans do one of those things. This is not a good place. This is a good place. Humanity is not good beings. Until you've interacted with higher beings, until you have felt the love of higher beings, I can assure you, you will look at humans differently. Me personally, I'm on record. I'm a contactee. I've also interacted with angels, deities, demons as well. On one occasion, I can remember clearly, I've interacted with angels multiple times in different ways. One occasion, long story short, I don't even want to think about it. It's that strong. The love from angels in particular, there's no words to describe it, man. No words to describe it. I can describe the sensations and what I felt, but the English language does not have the words to articulate what I felt from the angels. That's the kind of energy I'm talking about. There's not too many humans where you feel that from, where you feel love, that you trust and stuff like that. I'll put it like this. If you have 5 good friends, 5 friends that you trust with your life, that you love unconditionally, you're lucky. Because most people don't even have one. You feel me? If there's so much good people, you should have a bunch of friends that are all genuine. Fact of the matter is, you want to have more spiritual friends that are more down for you. And I hate saying it like that, but I mean, it's true. It really is true. And like I said, the higher beings, they look at us like, man, y'all got so much to learn. You know, me, myself, I'm a human being, but I consider myself a very enlightened human being. I've been through a lot, and I've been through a lot of spiritual breakthroughs or whatever. At this point, like I said, I'm 40 years old. I'm a black man in America relating to people, because people are so shallow. People are so just ignorant of certain things or whatever. And it saddens me, man. It really does sadden me that other people that look like me can't come together, like with people that look like us first and foremost, and then with everyone. Why can't we do that? Difficult. You know, why we have to murder? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's real simple stuff like that let you know that humanity is not that evolved. In a way, I'm sorry, you know, but it's true. Like, where the city I live in is less than 50,000 people, and we have a heroin epidemic. People are overdosing left and right off heroin or whatever. This is a low level project or whatever. So I said all that to say, even if these are the last days, or if this isn't the last days, but the fact of the matter is that you came here for a reason. So you want to make sure that you don't have any regrets. So I would say the best way to prepare for whatever's going to happen is make sure your ducks are in order. You came here, you're doing what you came here to do. Also, on a common sense level, I don't see anything wrong with storing food, perishable, non-perishables, water, flashlights, batteries, you know what I mean? All that survival gear. I'm not one of those people but oh no, you don't need it. No, yeah, I think you need to do that. What's happening in Texas, what happened in New Orleans, what's happening, I guess, down south in certain places. Part of my ignorance, I have no clue about world events, but those aren't isolated incidences. I believe there's going to be more stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but and until something changes, yeah, there's going to be more stuff like that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with being prepared. Answer to that, Pickett. Speak on the states that Dr. Blair said to stay away from. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Tahuti Numi, yeah, Tahuti numerology. Definitely shout out to my Tahuti numerologist. Is it true that eventually people will start disappearing to higher dimensions? I personally believe that is very true. Look at what's happening already. You have spontaneous combustions, which is not material, not transition to another dimension. But spontaneous combustion, if you do not know what that is, what happens is a person's kundalini is uncontrollable, and the kundalini rise to the point where their physical shell can't house it. That's why kundalini awakening and rising your energy usually is a painful process before it's pleasurable. It's called growing pains. It usually hurts to grow or whatever. So so that's one thing that people are doing to disappear. Also, Dr. Blair, peace and blessings be upon him, spoke of this often, stating about how little black children were being, pardon me. Dr. Gibson stated that people have been disappearing on this planet for a long time. When you look at the numbers every year, there's a lot of cases of disappearance written off the kidnappings, but a lot of them are people going to another dimension. Some of them are alien abductions or whatever. It's a lot of things going on in this planet. I make this analogy, and I think it's apropos, is like the same way we do into the zoo. I personally believe there's higher beings that do the same thing with us. They tranquilize us, put us to sleep, and transport us somewhere. Same with an animal. So don't believe me? Look up something called the zoo theory, where beings are watching us like we're a zoo. And once again, if you have no interaction with higher beings, then you are not, in my opinion, can give a very articulate opinion about this or whatever. Only those who have interacted with these beings, especially the extraterrestrials that do observe humanity or whatever, can speak intelligently about this. So we are being watched, we're being observed. You like y'all Negroes worry about Big Brother, the government watching you. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be worried about them. You don't need to be worried about none of it. But if you were to be worried, I'll be worried about my higher self, the angels, the deities, the extraterrestrials, the ancestors. I'll worry about them watching me more so than Big Brother. That's my opinion. How do we prepare our children for the change? I think it's the same thing. Personally, the children are already showing you the change. They're rebellious as hell. Look at these children nowadays. They're rebellious, even to their parents. You tell a child what to do back in the day, and they might say why or something like that and end up doing it. Nowadays, these children want you to give them a defined answer why they need to do this. Why do I need to eat vegetables? Why do I need to go to school? You better give them an excellent explanation. But my point is, they're very rebellious. This system, I don't think I need to sell y'all on this. This system needs to go. The system as we're conducting it right now, the monetary system, politics, race relation, this system needs to go. It needs to be redone or whatever. And it takes shaking it up. So these children nowadays, I personally don't think we need to prepare our children. I personally think the children are preparing us. I think the children have it more figured out than the adults. That's my opinion. Oh man, we are over an hour long, y'all. I'm gonna probably do one more questions. Hey, what up, Jazz? I'm just seeing if I can find any question. Y'all got a lot of statements. Yeah, time is an illusion. Time is an illusion, but time is also actually real too. Time and illusion, in a sense, is, and this is the best thing is to compare. When you're having sex, you're gonna lose sense of time. But if you put your hand on a hot iron, that time is going to be very quick or whatever. So time is different depending on what you're engaged in. But time isn't an illusion, because I put this YouTube live broadcast up for 2 p.m. and everyone knew what time to show up because I stated the time. So it is an illusion, but it's not an illusion as well. All right, I'm trying to see if I got any more questions. I think I might have hit everybody that I've seen. Or some angels disguised as deity. Angels and deities are actually more similar than they are different. So I would say it's possible. It's possible because you're talking about very, very similar beings. Very similar beings. So I would say that is plausible. Very highly plausible. We are an animal species, and like was trying to work in human beings. See if I got any more. I'm gonna go ahead and close off. Remember to thumbs up this broadcast if you're feeling it, to let YouTube know that we're doing something worthwhile here. Also, sallyMyers.com. Make sure to go there. If you want to join the accelerator program, spiritualaccelerator.com. Remember the Soul Spiritual Retreat, sallyMyers.com, classes and events. If you need a one-on-one consultation with myself, which is by far the best way to utilize my gift, sallyMyers.com, click on one-on-one. Want to start a spiritual business, sallyMyers.com, classes and events. Check out the 5-week course where I'll take you, walk you step by step each week to starting your spiritual business, getting up, getting money, getting clients, living your purpose, doing all that good stuff. Also, the manual, I'm expecting shipment next week, so I will send out all the pre-orders. Sorry for the delay. Everything's been delayed. We're behind on shipment. It's been crazy, especially ancestor money. Like it's ridiculous. Which angels are 222 and 333? I don't associate those numbers with angels. Doreen Virtue was the one who made that system. And as far as I know, someone told me Doreen Virtue ain't even into spirituality no more. She went back to Christianity. So I don't associate numbers. To know what numbers are a very, very unique energy on this planet. Very unique energy on this planet, along with colors, along with sound. They're not tied to the angelic realm. They're not tied to deity. They're the way that our reality wouldn't function without numbers. They're not the same as angels or whatever, but you can associate angels. Obviously, you can associate deities. You can associate anything with numbers. But numbers in their pure state, they're like deities within themselves, for real, for real. Yeah. Doreen Virtue, she ain't even into, like, bitch, she went back to Christianity from what I heard, yo. You see what I'm saying? Like, for real. Okay. Why do the extraterrestrials bring some people back? Are those people connected to them? What do you mean bring people back? Let's put it like this. This is something I've stated before. I'll say it again. A lot of you are connected to extraterrestrial beings, but you do not know because you forgot. And a lot of you are being upgraded. When you're being abducted, quote unquote, for one thing, you're not being taken out of your physical shell. It's all etheric or whatever. That's why it happens when you're asleep. But are connected to extraterrestrials. Once again, I'm a contactee. A lot of you are being upgraded. So you think you're being abducted and anal probed and all this stuff or whatever, but a lot of you are being upgraded. How do you know this? You wake up some days and you feel more powerful than you did before you went to sleep. Some of you have been worked on because there's certain energy imbalances or whatever. I can recall times when I woke up and knew that I got tampered with or whatever, put it like that. Some of you are being studied. I'm not going to lie and say that, we don't have humans being studied. That's happening as well. So there's a lot of reasons why you would be abducted and brought back. And there's a reason why you'd be abducted and not brought back. But for the most part, everybody comes back because they study, look at Convoluted Universe, I believe is the name. Dolores Cannon, peace and blessings be upon her. She is a beautiful, beautiful soul on this planet. Look up her book series called Convoluted Universe, I do believe. And more information about that. Share with you my personal experience, what I've been told or whatever. But the thing with extraterrestrials, no, I don't believe one person has all the pieces of the puzzle, because there's too many galaxies, too many dimensions, too many extraterrestrial bodies. The group that I interacted with, the group that I'm connected with, is called the Ashtar Command. I have no problem. I made a video putting out, who I was connected with or whatever. And when I spoke with Dr. Gibson during my consultation with him some years back, he stated that the Ashtar observed me and seen my consciousness was at a point where they wanted to work with me, in so many words. And what the extraterrestrials do is they work with humans that they feel are evolved at a certain place so they can transmit information to them so the humans can put in work. A lot of your inventions, a lot of things that have came about on this planet has came from higher intelligences, but they don't come down here and do the work. What they do is they come down here and they connect with humans, and the humans do the work. Download. Where did the download come from? Intuition. Where does this intuitive thought come from? You're getting transmitted these thoughts from higher beings, higher intelligence, higher worlds. This sounds spooky to you. I don't know what to tell you. Once again, this is my reality. This is something I live. This ain't something that's made up, whatever. But you can look at certain movies. These movies are telling you encounters with the fourth kind. These movies are telling you what's going on. As far as what I think we're going to end up going to, the movie Lucy, I believe, illustrated it probably the best in modern times. When she went from 60 to 70 to 80 to 90 to 100%, then she said, I'm nowhere, but I'm everywhere. I'm nowhere, but I'm everywhere. And went back to her original essence, which is omnipresent. They said God is omnipresent, meaning he's everywhere, but nowhere or whatever. Look up something called the rainbow body of light or the light body. That's why I believe it's happening. I believe that we're all going to transcend to light, or we're all going to transcend to darkness. We're going to exist like in a dream state. When you're in a dream, you don't have a physical body. It's whatever you create is what's going on or whatever. Doggone. It's so many context clues. And like I said, you got to piece this thing together. Oh, what up, Terrain? Peace to the God, man. All right. Now y'all got the questions popping in now. You understanding math. That's why I'm prone to numbers. You know how numbers work, you know how the universe works. Fibonacci sequence, it's really the way it is, yo. The numbers. You can't avoid it. That's why astrology has numbers, tarot has, every science has numbers to it. So why you're ruled by numbers. That's why it's on a ruler. 12 inches to a ruler. You feel me? Then you go to school for 12. You know what I'm saying? All this is symbolic, yo. Jesus and the 12 disciples, 13th disciple being actually Jesus or the Son. You go to the 12 disciples or the disciplines and come to the 13th, which is Christ consciousness or whatever. Like, numbers are very important to our world. Without numbers, we wouldn't have a world. Fight that. You know what I mean? You ain't getting around that. That's why they teach math the way they teach it. You feel me? They teach math the way they teach it, because if you knew the true science and numbers, you don't need algebra. You don't need geometry, all that stuff. Hell, you really don't need division for real. You need to add and subtract. That's basically all the math you need. But math is different than numbers. You feel me? Once you know numbers, that takes your game to a whole nother level. I'd rather study sacred geometry than regular geometry. You feel me? How do you find out your soul name and the deities who created it? Soul name is given to you, and the adage is once you're given your soul name, you don't tell anybody, you don't speak about it, or whatever. The deities who created you, you either have to get with someone who's skilled. Only person I know for sure that can do it beyond a shadow of a doubt is Dr. Gibson. He no longer does it. I'm supposed to be. I was told this wasn't nothing he told me. This is something the spirit told me that I was supposed to take over that work for him. I think I'm pretty ill at it. Obviously, I created a book called Deity Linkage Manual, but to sit here and say that I can conclusively tell you which deities created your soul, I'll be lying to you. Based on the feedback I've gotten from people when I have given them their deities, they've had some experience or some synchronicity or something that tied them with that deity, whatever. I have a testimonial. I don't know if it's still up, so I don't have any problem saying the lady's name. Wachina. Wachina is a very evolved soul. She's down with Tybro as well. She's one of the people that was making the sun do all kinds of things before people knew you can connect with the sun. You go back, or the group doesn't exist. Go into solar rejuvenation when it existed, and you go back before Dr. Gibson put out a challenge to make the sun blink. She was on there making the sun blink, spin, change colors, multiples. Wachina was hard body with the sun, yo. Well, I had a consultation with her some years back, and she wanted to know what deities dealt with her. Long story short, I told her, and she had to send me a note because she was like, no one has ever told me that, because you told me something that my first Grand Master told me. I don't want to repeat it or whatever, but it was a good confirmation that she was like, okay, you're on point, Ali. And like I said, she was moved to give me a testimonial. So based on what other people say, be on point, but I can't conclusively tell you, and I only person I know that can do it no longer does it, or whatever. So that's like a long-winded way of saying I don't know, bro. But Deity Linkage Manual is probably the best book as far as like getting on it. I finally caught you live. What up, though? All right, y'all got me on here forever now. Could the ETs? I guess I'm gonna have to do an ET Q&A. Like I said, well, I made. If you want to hear my story, go back and to my channel. It's my first ET experience in Motivite. That's the name of the video. You put in ET experience in Motivite, I'm pretty sure that video will pop up. But that's where I shared my first contact or whatever. So could the ETs house spirits in our bodies? Maybe that's why people feel upgraded. Usually spirits. This is kind of a deep question. Spirits, either deity spirits, mainly demons, and some ancestors can take over your organs. Like they can take over your organs. I don't want to get too spooky, but yeah, you can have spirits connect to your organs. You can also, but the main way spirits connect to you is through your aura. And it's usually human beings that are connected to your aura. That's why I highly recommend that you have an ancestor altar. A lot of you may have a cousin that's in your aura because they don't know where else to go. They're on earth, they're hungry, they're horny, they need some, you know what I mean? They want the alcohol, they want to smoke a square, they want to smoke a blunt, you know what I mean? But they can't pick it up. So they get in your aura so they can feel that energy as you're doing it, they can feel it vicariously through you, populate the bars or whatever. So I would say the first spot that spirit will attach to you is through your aura. But if they're clever enough, you can get into your glands and your organs as well. And someone with a dope enough camera, I know Dr. Gibson has one, but I'm sure there's some other people with X-ray machines. They can even show you entities on your organs and stuff like that. You're welcome. All right, man, I just keep it funky, yo. Oh, no problem. Thank you for your time. No problem. All right, Joe. I don't like my joints all freezing up and stuff. I'll be on here for like 90 minutes. So in fact, I don't even think there are no more questions. All right, I promise you, I'm gonna come back and do just an open Q&A like I do with the accelerator program, but do it on YouTube as well. But appreciate everybody for tuning in. Once again, SILEmyers.com. That's where you need to go. That's the website, the Spiritual Master Accelerator program, spiritualaccelerator.com. That's where you want to be if you want to work with me on a very affordable basis, expedite your spirituality. Remember to thumbs up the video and all that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel and all that. Tuning in. Until next time, peace.